Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of In Conversation With. Today, I'm joined by Mr. Nick Jocyln from the Whitehouse Distillery. Nick, great to have you with us today.
Hi, how are you doing?
All good here. So, you've got quite an interesting company, obviously being a distillery, and I think it'd be great just to firstly learn a bit more about yourselves and obviously the idea, because the story behind your label in particular and the design plays a big part into the name. So, if you can give us some more information.
Yeah, I guess a very unusual application for Trotec and one that we never saw coming in the beginning. As you say, it lends itself particularly well to our label because our back label, so our normal bottle, has cutouts in the window and everything, and our graphic designer thought it would be a really good idea that the appearance of it, you would look through the windows and see there's a map on the inside, and this was the map is shown clearly there with the engraving, which is great. And it was the oldest map of the Whitehouse. So the Whitehouse is a building that's on a Chevin that overlooks Otley, and it's just a landmark that everybody knows in Otley. So it was the kind of perfect choice for us for a name. We discovered the Trotec and the ability to use it in different ways. The label then became really important because the engraving that's on the front now really does show up the back label and makes the actual engraving stand out. So it makes a superb product. And so the more things we discover about the ability to use Trotec, the more it enhances our product. So from the actual engraving on the outside to the stoppers and lots of other branding items that we can produce ourselves in house, which is great.
So we can see your little badge. It's quite cool. Yeah, so that's the thing, like you say. I mean, I know one of the best things about it is that you see you're taking a piece of local history that obviously is quite specific to your area, but by making it your brand, you're actually spreading the word of that. And obviously, like you say, when you're enhancing it with your laser, it really does kind of just add that extra little bit of layer as opposed to just having a plain picture on the label, like so many other brands. It really helps set you apart, doesn't it?
It does, and it is a difficult thing because there are now lots of gins on the market, and we're very proud of being a Yorkshire gin.
And we can see in the background there you've got a lot of nice bits and pieces. So is that a cork board in the perhaps or no, it's your bags. Sorry, I can just see that now. So you've got your tote bags and jute bags. So tell us a little bit more about that, because I know obviously in your written case study that's one of the things that we discussed is the fact that you could bring branding in house and you could just be a bit more creative yourselves.
Yeah. So again, once we'd actually got the laser itself, then the applications started flooding in for it, and as I say, I think we are peculiar in that this is a secondary piece of equipment for us. It was not something that was planned or even thought of in any way, shape or form. So the more applications we can use it in our own business is great, but then perhaps then there's moving forward, there's almost a business in itself that will be created. So we discovered to be able to do our stoppers. That was great. So that adds a really nice premium product to the bottle. And then the bags. So the jute bags, who would know? So the way that it works, the way it stands out, and from an ethical point of view, no dyes. It's a really lovely kind of clean product, and something that we can change every single bag if we wanted. We don't have to pay for 1,000 screen printed bags. We can have everyone individual if you wanted, which was great.
It's brilliant, like you say as well, because with printing, for example, you've got to do the long runs, but you could, like to Sarah, to John, you could just change it out every single time.
So that was the thing with the bottles. So we started off with birthdays, Christmas, all that kind of thing, and then when the RAF stuff came along, that was a whole new market, which was absolutely fabulous. And I think we've got something like 9 different crests now that we do from RAF Shawbury. So we do every unit that's there, which is a fabulous thing. we started with the 60 Squadron, which is that one there. That was the first one that we did, and that was a connection that we met, which was a wing commander of 60 Squadron. It was a chance meeting that we had, sadly, at a funeral, and that's kind of sparked the interest, and we kind of thought, wow, that's a really interesting idea. And it was my brother-in-law, and at that time, when they were young, they were best friends, Paddy and Jim. And Jim, we were just talking about the RAF and how he was doing and what have you. And James said, he says, we've got a machine that can engrave bottles. And I thought, wow, that's an interesting concept. And instantly I thought the back label, engraving on the front, it'd stand out really well. And so I went round, and he had a Rayjet, and I was absolutely blown away, even though it's such a small machine, which I didn't realize at that time, because that was the only machine I'd ever seen. So we were messing about, doing all sorts of different things, and I thought, this is a really, really good idea. And we ended up with an appointment up at Bolden. And everybody was absolutely fantastic. We had half a day. I took loads of samples. Being a Yorkshire lad, we want to get value out of everything that we do. So we had absolutely loads of stuff. So we had leather aprons, notebooks, the back of my iPhone, all sorts of things. I was getting value for money while I was there. And we even had a big stainless steel paddle that we use for mixing. So we got to see how the Cermark liquid works on stainless steel for marking it. So it was a really interesting day. And we came away absolutely in a mind melt. And I think that one of the terms that was used, it's not what you can do with it. You've got to think of things that you can't do with it, rather. And that was a really interesting concept. So, of course, then your mind is going absolutely crazy. And so that's how the stoppers arrived. We thought, we can do that. That's an extra item that we can add to it. The engraving of all the squadrons, another application. Our own branding, so badges, and even the other day, a chap came up to me and said, he gave me one of the swizzle sticks. He says, can you do anything with those? So we reversed engraved them, and they look, they're a cracking little extra add-on, which you never even have thought of anything like that.
And it's perfect, of course, for your gin as well. Nice little mixer.
Yeah, absolutely. So we did the small 10 CLs, and we've just got some 5 CL bottles. So those we're going to use for wedding favours. So again, another area of a market that we never thought we would be in. But rather than people just having a paper label on, we could engrave all the details on, which is absolute, and a lovely keepsake.
Absolutely.
And then we're just on with a rum at the moment, so that's another nice product. And with a darker colour liquor in, it really is going to make that engraving stand out, which we kind of like.
I was going to say, you can see it's quite a great contrast there, but even with the gin inside the bottle, it's still a good contrast. It's even though it's white on clear, it's still very noticeable.
No, it's good. It's very, very good. Very pleased.
Thank you for watching part 1 of our interview with the Whitehouse Distillery. Stay tuned for part 2, where we find out more about Nick's business and see what other interesting applications he's been creating.